Alrighty, so this is just We the People news. Alrighty. And this video is without prejudice and or without recourse. Okay? I'm going to stand on the UCC 1-308. Alright? All rights reserved. Okay? Anything I say or do is not going to be legal advice. It's just my opinion only. Okay? And just never looks straightforward, y'all. Always look around you. This video is kind of interesting deal. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. In the 5th Circuit Court, a prosecutor can lie to the grand jury because of the qualified sovereign citizen immunity. Okay? If the government's going to use it on us, we're going to use it on them. Alright? Because it fits their definition anyway. But let's check this out. Oh, by the way, this came from Junkyard News, okay? Check him out, alright? He does bring up some really good videos.
This court is troubled by the presentation of evidence to the grand jury, and they presented evidence designed to evoke sympathy from the jurors to distract the grand jury on whether probable cause exists.
Big developments in a sad and tragic story. It's hard to watch, but it is important.
3 years ago, Phoenix police officer Paul Rutherford was hit by a car and killed on duty. A woman driving this white SUV was charged with negligent homicide. And now that case has been turned upside down. A judge just ordered that case will essentially need to start over because Phoenix PD and county prosecutors presented false evidence and testimony to a grand jury to get those criminal charges.
Officer Paul Rutherford.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a heads up. This happens a lot. Alright? And again, it's not my opinion, it's not legal advice, okay? But in fact, this happens a lot. Alright? And this has been taken to the Supreme Courts of the 5th Circuit. And when they got sued over this, lying to the grand jury, the Supreme Court says, well, no, due to qualified immunity, they are allowed to lie. Now, is that a bunch of crap or what? Thank you, government. Sovereign citizens.
Responding to a car crash before he entered traffic and was hit by a woman in a white SUV. Phoenix police and Maricopa County prosecutors say this woman committed a crime and more than a year after the crash charged her with negligent homicide. But in a scathing new ruling, a judge just ordered the criminal case to start basically back at the beginning because the court found police and prosecutors misled a grand jury and did not tell the truth about what happened.
Oh, there's a big surprise! That's an incredible... I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise!
Quote, this court is troubled by the presentation of evidence to the grand jury, and they presented evidence designed to evoke sympathy from the jurors to distract the grand jury on whether probable cause exists. Now, this is security video from a nearby business that's never been seen by the public. It's evidence in the case. It has significant glitches, but there's a couple of clear seconds just before the crash that shed more light on what happened. You can see here at the very top, Rutherford out in front of his car. He briefly stopped traffic in the next lane closest to him, but then suddenly went out further into the center two-way turn lane without looking. Phoenix PD's own traffic reconstruction expert confirmed the fact in a final report, saying it needs to be considered that Officer Rutherford could have also avoided the collision if he had stopped and looked west down the two-way left turn lane prior to entering it. But police and prosecutors kept that secret from the grand jury.
You crooked tops!
The judge calling that a critical issue. Quote, nowhere in his testimony does Detective Davison acknowledge that Officer Rutherford failed to again look west into traffic before stepping into the two-way left turn lane. This is critical. No video was shown to the grand jury.
Excuse me?
They just heard from an officer and prosecutor, who the court now says misled them. Quote, if the grand jury was told that Officer Rutherford could have also avoided the collision, the jurors may not have found probable cause that a crime was committed.
So what happens now in all this? Essentially, the case kind of starts over. The county attorney's office has 2 weeks to take this case back to the grand jury. If prosecutors don't present the case again, it'd be dismissed. The county attorney's office tells ABC 15 it won't comment on pending cases, but did say that while the court found errors in the way the case was presented, the office reviewed the conduct of its attorneys and did not find any ethical misconduct.
I have to say the judge should have actually did acquittal on that, okay? The obvious reasons, right? So Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas need to wake up and realize that if you are a member of the grand jury, pay very careful to the prosecutor and find out as much as you can what he is lying about. Y'all, the number one thing is they want high rate success and to move them up in their world. Okay? There ain't no telling how many innocent people by the prosecutor literally lying to the grand jury. Just saying, y'all. Yeah. Justice delayed, justice denied, like a due process, right? Thank you, qualified immunity. Till next time, y'all.